Good evening, distinguished members of the LPDF committee, of the LPDF plenary. We are here upon your request to hold an in-person meeting to address the unresolved issues that came up in your virtual meeting back in May. During that meeting, you discussed your legal committee's proposal for a constitutional basis for the 24 December elections and considered the unresolved issues. At the end of your virtual meeting, you were unable to resolve these outstanding issues. Since then, some of you made commendable efforts to build common ground and develop some bridging proposals. 3 days before arriving in Switzerland, your colleagues, members of the advisory committee, put together a proposal during a 3-day meeting in Tunis in which they addressed these outstanding issues. We all came to this meeting with a clear agenda and a clear timeline. We had 4 full days to consider the advisory committee's proposal. We gave you the full opportunity to discuss the bridging proposal agreed upon by the committee in Tunis. We commend the advisory committee for setting the ground for the deliberations of this in-person meeting of the LPDF. You had 1.5 days to discuss the proposal developed by the advisory committee and narrow your differences. In addition, you had a full day of informal consultations and negotiations to build common ground. In that process, 3 other proposals emerged. Some of them were consistent with the roadmap. Some of them were not consistent with the roadmap. And some sought to establish preconditions for arriving at the 24 December election date. You constituted a committee to bridge the various proposals. The first attempt to establish this committee was rejected on the basis that it was not balanced. You then reconstituted a rebalanced committee to continue your pursuit for a compromise. This rebalanced proposals bridging committee deliberated and proposed a way forward. The committee's proposal was rejected by many of you. The debate was heated. Some of you threatened to walk out and boycott the process should the committee's proposal be tabled for a vote. Today, some of you requested a final opportunity to come up with a compromise proposal, and this was granted. From the outset of this process, we were committed to giving you all opportunities to reach a compromise. In addition to the above opportunities, an extra day was granted with the gracious and generous support of our host, the Swiss government. You had indicated that should this committee agree on a compromise, it would be submitted for a vote by the plenary with a view to adopting a constitutional basis for the elections. The proposals bridging committee has just reported to us that it has not succeeded in reaching an agreement and that it needs more time to work on achieving common ground. It is regrettable that, despite all the opportunities over a total of 5 days, there is still no common ground. The people of Libya will certainly feel let down as they still aspire to the opportunity to exercise their democratic rights in a presidential and parliamentary election on 24 December. This does not bode well for the credibility and future relevance of the LPDF. The key to breaking the stalemate that you face today is to return to the spirit of the roadmap and reach a compromise that secures the political and practical feasibility of national elections on 24th December 2021. As we conclude this session, I encourage you to continue to consult amongst yourselves to pursue a workable compromise and cement what unites you. On our part, as you have requested in the report just submitted by the Proposals Bridging Committee, we will continue to work with you and with the Proposals Bridging Committee to explore further efforts to build common ground based on the legal committee's proposal. We have all acknowledged that this legal committee's proposal is the reference framework for a constitutional basis for elections on the 24th of December. Proposals that do not make the elections feasible and possible to be held on 24 December cannot be entertained. I thank you very much for all the efforts that you have made, and I wish you a safe journey back home and encourage you not to pause in your efforts to find common ground, but to continue these efforts as some of you did in the interim period between the virtual meeting that you had in May and this in-person meeting. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and safe journey back home. The meeting is adjourned.